G'day everyone, Jaimunji here, and you're watching Interviews with Metal Roos. Today I have with me Lyn Jeffs from Ingested. How are you today, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Mate, absolutely fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
Look,
you.
it's exciting. You guys are coming to Australia. Is this the first time you're getting the chance to come down this way, or have you been down here before?
No, it's the first time for all of us being there. So yeah, we're really excited.
Anything in particular you're going to try and see in between shows, or you're looking forward to?
It's difficult. We've discussed this actually. Because I think we've got 6 shows in 6 days, and it's
Yeah.
all flying shows. So like, the things that we probably want to do personally, we're not going to have time to do. So we'll be at the beckoning of the tour manager, and we'll just follow him.
Hard life. At least I think the venue in Sydney is not too far from the Opera House, so you can always get that cheesy selfie every tourist likes to do when they come down
Oh,
here.
there'll be the obligatory, like, Sydney Opera House to be a zoo visit with the koala involved, I'm sure. The normal Australia shit.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's got to do it when they come down here. No,
Exactly.
it's going to be unreal. It's going to be a pleasure to have you guys down here as well, touring for the last album, Ashes Lie Still. Before I get into that, I want to ask, has it been a big change going from a five-piece band down to a three-piece band in a live setting?
Um, yeah, in a way, because now we use a session guitarist live. We have a guy called Mike who will be with us on the tour. He's from the UK as well, but sometimes he can't fulfill every talk that we do, so we do switch between a couple of guys. So in that sense, yes, the dynamic has changed slightly. But the thing is, myself, Sean, and Jay, we're all original members. So the core base of the band has always been there, and that's not really changed. So it's not too bad.
Yeah,
It's
so
easy to
it's
get over.
almost like going back to roots in a
Exactly,
way.
exactly.
Yeah. And did it change the writing process at all, or were you three always kind of the main writers?
Yeah, no, it hasn't really changed it much, to be honest, because Sean is the chief songwriter in terms of like the riffs and the song structures. Um, once he has a kind of motif of a song idea demoed out, he'll send it to me. I'll write the drum patterns to it, and then we'll have a bit of back and forth, on which parts we like, what he wants to keep, if he had something specific in mind. And then either Sean or Jay writes the lyrics and the vocal pattern. So it hasn't really changed too much, to be honest.
Well, that's good. That makes it nice and easy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the last album as well, being released post the pandemic, I'm guessing you had a lot of time to write that in that time. And the album's being panned as being absolutely fantastic, kind of groundbreaking for you guys. Did all that time kind of locked up and writing have an effect? Because it feels very kind of deep and personal.
Yeah, I think the timing of it definitely did. To be honest, the way we write, we don't really kind of like set aside, certain blocks of time for writing.
Mm.
We kind of write on the go all the time. So then we just build up a bank of songs. And then we kind of like pick and choose which songs we want for that particular release. But you are right. During that time, it was a bit of a miserable time for everyone, really, because of the
Mm.
pandemic. But we also had some personal things going on, like you mentioned before. We lost a band member as well. He left the band during that time, so it was a bit of a kind of a bleak point in our career. Really, we didn't really know what was going to happen in the future. We'd finished our contract with Unit Leader. We had no label at that time. Obviously, no one knew what was going on with the global touring situation, which is fundamental to making the band work. So yeah, I think it told a story of that time that we were in a bit of a awkward place,
Mm.
both collectively and individually. So I think that does come through on the album. It does kind of have like a moody undertone to it.
It does.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of melancholic in that way. But we're in a much better place now. So I reckon the new stuff will be a bit more upbeat. Let's put it that way.
Bit more cheery. Maybe follow the trend a bit, and that's an interesting topic as well. With death metal and deathcore, even have you noticed over the last few years, a lot of these bands are now starting to add a lot more clean vocal sessions into the songs.
Mm.
Is it something you think you're expected to do going forward, or is it, or yeah, it's a bit of a hard question because I've noticed a pattern.
Yeah, you are right. There definitely is a trend with that at the moment. I don't know whether it's like expected. Um, for us, I mean, we've kind of dabbled a little bit in the past with clean vocals. Like we had Kirk Winstein do a track with us from Crowbar
Mm.
on Where Only Gods May Tread. So he did a clean vocal part on that album. We have had very very short kind of clean back-ins before on some choice cuts, like in certain songs. I think it was a song on Level Above Human as well. So we have dabbled a little bit. We've probably gone a little bit more adventurous this time. I guess that is a sign of the times in the way that people are much more open-minded than they were 10, 15 years ago. So that kind of you can blend more melodies with extreme styles of music these days, and no one's really going to have their head turned too much. So there is definitely a sense of freedom in that. But you are right in a sense that if it does become a bit of a trend, then people kind of start shoehorning things in there for the sake of it. And we've never really kind of wanted to do that. We if like the clean vocal part on Ashes Lie Still, it was a natural evolution. It was never ever supposed to be there. It was supposed to be like just a synth part really that we thought, we'll do something like I'm interested instrumentally. We were in the studio at the time. Jason got really ill. He actually got taken to hospital, and our producer's girlfriend, who's a good friend of mine as well, she was at the studio, and she's a really accomplished singer. And she was like, "Oh, there's a really cool melody on this," and she just started jamming along, and we were like, "Oh my god, let's just do it. Fuck it, let's just try this." So it was kind of an organic thing. It wasn't like something we just kind of always had in mind. And I guess that's where like kind of the most interesting ideas kind of come about. If you're trying to force them in there for the sake of it, then you are right. It does feel like it's kind of expected.
Mm. No, and I kind of almost thought it was going to happen on the track you had with Matt Heafy on the album, to be honest with you. I was expecting a big classic Trivium chorus, but it was a nice surprise. Matt came in there with almost that style, I think I've even got it there, the Ibaraki style screaming, the extreme sound he was pushing in that. And I was kind of blown away. How'd that collab come together anyhow?
That's a good question. I think Sean actually, I think that was it. Matt Heafy did we did a video for Dead Seraphic Forms on Where Only Gods May Tread, and because we were in the pandemic, we couldn't actually get together. So we did this kind of like splice kind of video of people in their homes, like kind of played along to the song, or singing along to the song. And I think Sean had noticed that Matt Heafy was jamming one of the riffs off that album on his Twitch channel. So he reached out to him and said, "Oh, we're putting this video together. Are you interested?" He's like, "Yeah, of course I'll jam." So we jammed a riff and we put it on the video, and then we kind of stayed in contact, and it kind of went from there. Really, we were like, we have this part in the song that we kind of think you're perfect for, and yeah, he was interested, and that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, well, it's a great track, so I'm glad that worked out the way it did. But I won't take up too much more of your time, but I do have an interesting question for you. You are touring with Archspire and Werewolves when you come down here. Is there a big challenge to playing a new country for the first time for you guys, especially when you're the support act?
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, we've kind of had long conversations about this, and we're still not 100% decided on just what set to play, because we've never played that market before. We've never played Australia, so we've got like a 45 minute set, but we've got 7 albums and 3 EPs. Yeah. So it's like how I mean, even if you just play one song off each album, that's 45 minutes straight away. So we're obviously not going to be able to please every single person, but we're trying our best to kind of put together a set that kind of shows our back catalogue in its entirety, and have some nice choice deep cuts as well that some people might enjoy, and also keep ourselves like interested and excited to play the set as well. So it is difficult. It is difficult.
We're lucky we're a bit of a rowdy bunch down here, so I think they'll get into it. Yeah, we're a bit known for going a bit too hard at times. So
that's good. Then.
Hopefully it all works out. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to the tour myself. Mate, thank you so much for your time today. Wish you all the best. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hope you get to see a koala and a kangaroo when you're down here.
We will, I'm sure. Thank you very much, man. Really enjoyed it.
No, thank you, mate. You have a good one.